others, have problems understanding, and have like
multiple.
Yeah, I had a little boy that I evaluated for an RTIC screening, and he comes up and he starts licking my arm, you know, and I'm just like, wow, okay. And then I ask him what his name is, and he says, you know, and then he starts just fiddling with the shoes, and all of a sudden, you know, before eye contact, all of these red flags start shooting up, and I'm just like, okay, you need more than an RTIC screening, but I will let them know. So it's you know, it has lots. What can educators do? You become aware of the communication signs, milestones. There's like so many different charts online that you can look at with different types of, you know, oh, the kid has to be using this many words, they have to understand this. You meet with the speech therapist and you request a screening, and then you understand the diagnostic process. And this is the process that I learned in class. Not all schools are like this, because the school that I went to.
But it's a nice general reference. Is it going to be exactly like this? Probably not. But it's going to be generally like this. And please remember, and one of the reasons I brought her in is I see it a lot in school districts where the teacher is in direct conflict with the therapist, whatever therapist is. And remember, the therapist does not wake up every morning, get dressed, and come to work saying, how can I run that special ed teacher's day? That's not why they're doing it. I know it may seem like that, and from the therapist's point of view, the opposite may seem true, but in general, everyone's trying to do what's best for the child. Or at the very least, everyone's trying not to harm the child. So the more you can compromise, the more you can collaborate, the more you can learn to work with each other. And what does compromise mean? What's the definition of it?
Work together.
Yeah, you work together, you meet in the middle. It does not mean, compromise does not mean I get my way and Lisa doesn't get her way, but yet she's going to be okay with it. Although I sometimes feel that way, but
Scratch that.
yeah, it just means that you have to compromise.
So if they're going to be referred for special education, obviously the referral comes from the special education teacher. They have to get parental permission. Without parental permission, the speech therapist or the diag cannot assess the child. They hold an ARD. They have a committee where they set up, well, this child is going to get 30 minutes a week, or this child is going to get 45 minutes a week. How often are they going to get therapy? And then there has to be an agreement, and then the follow-up. And this is the same thing for bilingual education. There's a home language survey, which is not very good sometimes. They also need parental permission. There's a language proficiency assessment, and again, the committee sets up with the recommendation. Like, should they be in bilingual ed? Do they need other, subjects taught in bilingual and Spanish or another language? There also needs to be an agreement, and there's also a follow-up evaluation. And
when y'all move to the point of being an administrator, please remember what Lisa said, that if you're given a parent a bilingual assessment, they ask what language is spoken in the home, and they write English in any language other than English, that means English is not spoken at home, okay? Because no one that speaks, I guarantee you, no one that is monolingual English is going to write English
in Spanish.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
So would you have to go to parents and they'd have to change that?
I would call foul and say, yes, go to them and say, listen, I realize you think you're helping your child, and I realize what you're trying to do, but if you really want to help your child, you have to be honest about this. Because what happens to a lot of people, and it's not just people that come from Mexico, it's people that come from all parts of the world, that they really believe that this is like a government thing, that we're going to send it off to immigration, or we're going to send it off to the police and they're going to get arrested. Well, even if the people are over here illegally, by law, the school district cannot report that to anyone. If they report it, they get in a lot of trouble. So the people, and it's to protect the student. So the student is totally protected in this situation. so the more honest, so by being honest, the only thing that happens is they actually get the services that they need.
I mean, we had a little kid in the clinic that he was Asian. Maybe he spoke Chinese or Japanese or Korean. But I mean, the parents are like, they only speak English. That's what they said. But every time that they were with the kid in the observation room, they would start speaking in Chinese, you know? And it's, I mean, what do you do, right? They want you to treat in English. They want you to focus on that.
And you ask them exactly what English word is that? Because I'm not familiar with it.
Or, you know, you not so much attitude and just, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm a little extreme, but I'm also 40 years old and worked a number of years in AR and don't care anymore. But the more you can be to the point with it, the better off you're going to be. Because they will try to work around the system. I can tell you, I have over 20,000 clock hours in an ER, including level 1 trauma ERs. I have never met a drunk person that had more than one beer to drink. Just ask them. Every single one of them. How many beers did you have? One. Well, it must have been one. It must have been a damn pool of beer. But that's just the way it is.
So again, you know, this is my theory. So it's all about teamwork. Everybody has to work together to increase the academic success for the student. And as teachers, there's a lot of things that you can do within the classroom to modify your teaching methods. And work with the speech pathologist or the resource teacher or anybody else. I mean, children are receiving OT now and a lot of different services in the school district. Some schools don't even have a special education classroom, or that's what I found out. You know, they just get resource, but they're with the general education.
Well, yeah, but they should still have a lot of skills somewhere at the district level.
They do.